Hello everybody, so today we are going to continue with our functions unit and we are going to start with independent and dependent variables. So many real life situations and math problems have an independent and a dependent variable. Well, the independent is the variable that determines the output. So this is what you plug in to your function. So these values are going to be your input, and remember your input are going to be your x values if you're looking at an equation. All right, and the way to remember that is that you see that you have input independent. All right, so the independent variable is what's by itself, and you just plug it into your function or plug it into your graph, and then that's going to determine what you get out for your output. Now, the dependent variable is the variable which is determined by, or here's the key part, depends on the input. So this is what happens after you plug in your input. You're going to get out your output. So these values are going to be your output, and that's your dependent variable. Now, remember, your output is also going to be your y values if you're looking at a graph or if you're looking at a function or something like that. So let's look at a couple of examples. Identify the independent and dependent variable in each scenario. So the air pressure inside a tire. So the tire pressure increases with temperature. So what you want to ask yourself is, what is dependent? What depends on the other thing? Well, if you notice here, the air pressure inside a tire increases with temperature. So the air pressure or the tire pressure depends, so this is going to be your dependent, it depends on what the temperature is. So the temperature is its independent. Because you look at a certain temperature and that's going to determine what the air pressure is inside of a tire. And then the second example is, generally the average price of going to the movies has steadily increased over time. So ask yourself, what depends on the other thing? Well, the price of the movie ticket, that is going to be our dependent. Spelled it wrong. The movie ticket price is going to depend on the time that you're looking at. So that's going to be my independent. Because if you think about it, if you go back to like the 60s, 1960s, and you ask yourself, what was a movie ticket price be there? That is going to be significantly cheaper than what it is, say, in 2019 or today. All right, so the movie ticket price depends on what the time that you're looking at is. All right, so go ahead and try out the last two practice problems. Okay, so there you can check your answers for those two practice problems. And number one, the money that student council can spend, well, that depends on the number of tickets that are sold for homecoming. And then for number two, the water level of the river, well, that is going to depend on the amount of rain that occurs. Okay, so that's the first part of this video. That's independent and dependent variables. In the next part, we're going to start analyzing graphs of functions. So make sure you watch that.